What's going on, guys? It's your boy Vince Miracle coming at you with another video. And in this one, we're talking about 5 NBA stars who were not heavily recruited out of high school. Look, the NBA is loaded with players who have dominated the court ever since they picked up the basketball. Players like LeBron James, who gained national recognition at just the age of 16 as a junior high school student, or even Zion Williamson, who is one of the biggest draws in high school sports and in college. Then you even got a guy like Derrick Rose, who was a high school standout prospect in his hometown of Chicago. It just seems like uber talented players were just destined for NBA when you watch these guys, right? But for every LeBron James, there's Damian Lillard. For every Zion Williamson, there's a Stephen Curry. Talent is equally distributed across the world, but unfortunately, opportunity isn't. Could it be size? Could it be where you're located? All of these things come into question. Even though we've seen stars like LeBron James grow up right before our eyes watching them through high school, there's always seems to be that star that just appears out of nowhere, out of the blue. And even though they have the talent, the game all along, they just weren't heavily recruited at all. Again, size, place, who knows what it is. Let's go over these stars. First up, we have former MVP and NBA champion Stephen Curry. That's right. One of the best players in history and the greatest shooter ever didn't always have the hype around him. The son of Del Curry, a 16-year veteran in his own right, Stephen Curry attended Charlotte High School. As a freshman in high school, Curry was a mere 5'7", 130 pounds. I bench pressed that man. That's how small he was. Curry was so small that his trademark number 30 was too big for him, so he had to wear number 20. The Curry we now see has no conscience, pulling up from the parking lot on a regular basis, but the confidence might not have always been there for him. In his freshman year, Curry didn't try out for the varsity team because he had doubts that he could actually make it. In his own words, Curry said, "I felt a little scared, a little nervous. I think I took the easy way out trying to play JV and never really put myself out there and shooting for the moon. And about halfway through my JV season, I was starting to regret it because I really felt like I was good enough to play at the next level, but I didn't really have the belief to put that into action when the time mattered. So I told myself I would never be timid about anything like that ever again." At Charlotte Christian, Curry was named All-State, All-Conference, and the team MVP while he led the team to 3 conference titles and 3 state playoff appearances. He finished his senior year shooting over 48% from the three-point range. Curry was ranked number 16th player in North Carolina's class of 2006 as a senior at Charlotte Christian in North Carolina. However, he was ranked lower as the number 60 point guard in the nation and number 300 player overall. Curry had very little buzz from Division I programs, as Davidson has been the sole interest from his sophomore year. Eventually, Curry did receive offers from 5 other schools, as William and Mary, Virginia Tech, VCU, and High Point all made a bid for Curry. But he opted to stay in North Carolina, committing to Davidson. And from Davidson, we know the story of his 2008 March Madness run and the Golden State Warriors drafting Curry 7th overall in the 2009 draft, where he would develop into one of the most iconic and game-changing talents the league has ever seen. Damian Lillard, one of the league's most elite talents and the franchise player for the Portland Trail Blazers, wasn't always in that light. Damian Lillard began his high school career at Arroyo High School in San Lorenzo, California, and joined the varsity starting lineup as a 5'5" freshman. In his sophomore year, Lillard decided to transfer schools. His second year of high school saw him play at St. Joseph's Notre Dame High School in Alameda, California, the same school that hosted the talents of Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. However, Damian Lillard struggled to see playing time at St. Joseph. He ended up deciding to transfer yet again, this time to play for Coach Orlando Watkins at Oakland High School. It was here Damian Lillard seemed to gain some sort of traction. as he brought home first team all-league recognition in both his junior and senior years at Oakland High. Long before the world knew about Lillard's long-range bombs, it seems he has been doing this since high school. Lillard's coach Orlando Watkins talked about the Oakland native's deep range. Playing McClymonds, and we went to go undefeated that year and win state. And Dame pulled up from the right side half court to tie the game, and he had missed that same shot about a minute sooner. I looked at him like, this game is tight. We can't be doing that. He looked back at me like, I got this. I got this. I'm not going to tell him, don't take that shot. In his junior season, Lillard averaged 19.4 points per game, and his senior season saw him bump that average to 22.4 points per game with 5.2 assists, while leading the team to a 23-9 record. Now, while Lillard had the numbers and the awards, Damian Lillard wasn't heavily looked at by Division I programs. In fact, Damian Lillard was only a two-star prospect coming out of high school and was listed as the 20th best player in California, the 48th best high school point guard, and the 214th best overall player in the class of 2008. But this begs the question, why weren't colleges looking at Lillard? Well, Lillard's coach explained that his play style and size were big warning signs for bigger programs, Watkins said. To tell you the truth, it was just bad luck and bad timing, Watkins explained. I think that Dame played for an AAU with a bunch of other guards, and he was their main scorer. He wasn't facilitating, getting other people involved as much as if he was the lead guard. Trust me, if the ball was in Dame's hands, then everybody knew. When we needed a basket, hey Dame, let's go to work. But I think bigger colleges were looking at him like he's too small and he's not a facilitator, so they missed out. And yes, these colleges did indeed miss out. Lillard decided to commit and sign to Weber University, a small Division I school located in Ogden, Utah. At Weber State, Lillard played all 4 years and was named Big Sky Player of the Year twice and capped off his senior year with 24.5 points per game for Weber State. He was selected number 6 overall by the Trailblazers in the 2012 draft. And the rest, we all know about. Lillard is now one of the Blazers' greatest legends and one of the most lethal offensive weapons in NBA history. Not too bad for a 2-star recruit. CJ McCollum, a 6'3" guard for the Portland Trailblazers and one half of one of the most lethal backcourts in the league, also faced a similar underdog story to his backcourt mate. McCollum played high school basketball for the Golden Eagles at Glen Oaks High School in his hometown of Canton, Ohio. As a freshman, McCollum stood 5'2" tall. It goes without saying, but he was considerably undersized. However, he still was able to play at the varsity level for the Golden Eagles. Luckily, CJ would eventually benefit from the late growth spurt, gaining 5 inches by his second year and another 4 inches by his third year of high school. In his very first game as a junior, McCollum scored 54 points to set both a school and Stark County record, and at the end of the senior year season, McCollum averaged just under 30 points per game. McCollum had become the leading scorer in Golden Eagles history with 1,405 career points and was named the Gatorade Ohio Player of the Year for his final campaign during the 2008 and 2009 season. Despite this, McCollum was only ranked as the 17th best player in Ohio, the 84th best point guard in the state, and 452nd in the nation. Fortunately for McCollum, Matt Logie, who recruited the Ohio area for Lee University, was the first to take notice of the guard's ability. And as the larger state schools in Ohio ignored McCollum, Lee University pursued him vigorously. On September 17th, McCollum committed to Lee University, a private research school located in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. In his first out of 4 seasons at Lee, he made an immediate impact for the Mountain Hawks. He played in 33 games, starting in 31 of them, and averaged 19.1 points and 5 rebounds per game while shooting 45.9% from the field. He was the leading freshman scorer in the nation and the first player in Patriot League history to be named the Conference Player and Rookie Player of the Year. As a sophomore in the 2010-2011 season, CJ increased his averages to 21.8 points and 7.8 rebounds per game. He played and started in 31 contests and shot 39.9% from the field. CJ was once again named to the first team All-Conference. As a junior, CJ again earned Patriot League Player of the Year, as well as his third straight first team All-Conference designation. This was the season where he led the huge upset over the Duke Blue Devils 75-70 in the school's first ever victory at the NCAA tournament. Even though he was already considered virtually destined to be a top NBA draft pick by his third year, he decided to finish his final year of college instead of leaving for the NBA sooner. McCollum went on to graduate from Lee University with a Bachelor of Arts in Journalism. This season, he also became the all-time leading scorer in his conference history, passing Rob Feaster. McCollum was picked 10th overall in the 2013 NBA draft by the Portland Trail Blazers. In Portland, he would continue to improve and strengthen his game alongside Damian Lillard to become Most Improved Player of the Year, as well as one of the best offensive scorers in the league today. At number 4, we have Russell Westbrook. It may be a shock to some, but Russell Westbrook, the league's former MVP, 9-time All-Star, and record holder for triple-doubles in the NBA, wasn't always what we all know him for today. As a freshman, Russell Westbrook attended Lusinger High School. He stood 5 foot 8 inches tall. Westbrook didn't get significant varsity minutes until his junior season and did not receive his first college recruiting letter until the summer before his senior year. During his senior year, Westbrook would go on to average 25.1 points, 8.7 rebounds, 3.1 steals, and 2.3 assists, and helped lead them to a 25-4 record. That same person, he recorded 14 double-doubles and scored 30 or more points on 8 separate occasions, and even registered a career-best 51 points at Carson on January 6th, day after my birthday, in 2006. None of the major camps or elite AAU squads extended invitations. He was listed as the 34th best shooting guard and 137th best player nationally for the class of 2006. Westbrook avoided newspaper clippings of other players' success and barely followed local basketball. He says, "I didn't look up the top players in the city. Honestly, I just never paid attention to it. I wasn't big into going to games or following players. I was just in the house trying to stay out of trouble." Westbrook did not attract much attention from top college programs. However, Westbrook was more than just an athlete. With a 3.9 GPA in high school, which gave him the confidence to find another career if basketball just didn't work out. Fortunately, though, for Westbrook, an assistant for the UCLA Bruins saw something special in him, something that no one else even saw. UCLA assistant coach Kerry Keaton had been spearheading Westbrook's recruitment. Keaton had quietly been eyeing him for a couple years, which made no sense to many of his colleagues. You don't judge a kid on a bad game. You could see how much potential he had. He could just pour the ball into the basket, but man, he was raw. He was this rugrat who played the bat out of hell. He was like a crazed dog, Keaton said. Eventually, head coach Ben Holen came around to Keaton's interest in Westbrook and offered him a scholarship to play for the UCLA Bruins after a spot opened up when Jordan Farmar declared for the NBA draft. Westbrook played 2 seasons for UCLA and then declared for the NBA draft, where he was selected by the Seattle Supersonics, who became the Oklahoma City Thunder. And in OKC, Westbrook carved out a historic Hall of Fame career for himself. At number 5, we have Ja Morant. The young face of the Grizzlies franchise has big potential in the NBA, but if it weren't for a craving of a snack, this possibly would have never happened. Morant attended Crestwood High School in Sumter, South Carolina. Ja Morant was an absolute star for Crestwood High, as he left as its all-time leading scorer with 1,679 points and set a career-high 47 points against Sumter High School. In his final 2 seasons for Crestwood, he would average 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, earning South Carolina Class 3A All-Star honors in both years. Morant also left high school as a 3-time All-Region MVP. He dominated in high school from the moment he put on the Crestwood jersey. But why wasn't Morant getting much attention from D1 programs? Morant was not ranked by any recruiting services, ESPN, 247 Sports, or rivals. His name was nowhere to be found on these platforms. His only high major offer came from South Carolina. However, this is where luck, or some may say destiny, happened. Assistant coach James Kane of the Murray State Racers attended a camp hoping to see Tevin Brown, a commit already to his school. While looking for a snack, Kane noticed Morant playing a 3-on-3 game in an auxiliary gym. Kane only needed 5 minutes to realize he'd struck gold. He saw Morant's 44-inch vertical leap, explosiveness, and passing vision on full display almost immediately. Impressed, he contacted head coach Matt McMahon, who soon offered Morant a scholarship. On September 3rd, 2016, Morant committed to playing for Murray State during a dinner at McMahon's house. Even though Murray State is by no means a basketball powerhouse, this decision by Morant proved to be the best choice he could have ever made. As best put by his own father, T. Morant, every parent wants their child to play at a big program. But what I realized is, don't go where you want to be, go to where they want you. Ja Morant played 2 seasons for the Racers before entering into the 2019 draft and being selected 2nd overall by the Memphis Grizzlies, and then eventually winning Rookie of the Year. You can say that Ja Morant is lucky that a coach decided to get a snack and look into a gym, but as the saying goes, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Like we see during the drafting process, scouting is not easy. Some people say that talent brings exposure, but as you've seen through these 5 names, that just proves to be not true. While we do see guys like LeBron James and Zion Williamson, players who've been heavily covered since they touched the ball in the high school level, there are always going to be guys like Steph and Curry, Damian Lillard, Paul George, and Ja Morant that are still out there that haven't even been recruited yet. Remember, guys, just because we haven't heard of them, or maybe you haven't seen them play, doesn't mean the talent isn't there. Talent is anywhere you look. You just got to keep those eyes open. If you guys enjoyed this type of content, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and hit that like button. And until next time, NBA fans, bye-bye.